Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. So I got you another team, and in this case, this is definitely the most free-to-play friendly team that I've come up with, as it only requires SR units and 1R unit in order to auto health 4 of Terror. And in this case, as you can see, we're using Chiaki the Echo as our turn opener, right, and our meter pusher. And then we're using Valerian for sustainability. We're using Chiakachi the guard. I get them both confused all the time, in order to increase your defense, provide you with immunity, right? And so on, and also extend your buffs and turn meter down with his S2. And then we have, in this case, Fangus, which is your actual damage dealer because he applies damage over time. And with his S3, as speed down. And then your healer and taunter and also extra sustain is going to be Vice, right? With his S3, he can actually apply speed no attack down, right? And with his S1, he's able to heal himself. And then we're using Fantastimo in order to spread that heal that is going to accumulate. All right, so I'll show you the stats that each of the units has right now so that you have an idea of what kind of like the minimums are, right? So in this case, Chiaki the Echo, the way that you want to build her is first you're going to upgrade her S3 right here, right? All the way to level 5, because that's going to give you the highest increase in turn meter and also a reduction on the cooldown on that skill. Now, if you're able to also get her passive, that's pretty much going to guarantee the run, honestly, because she's also going to be able to cleanse. And most of the time, whenever you lose, it's because of the stupid deep down. And then the terror rages on one of your units, and that's usually when they can die. If it happens right before Catchy the Guard uses his immunity. Now, for the shell itself, we are using Artisan. And then we're, of course, using Swift Rush. Now, if you can get everybody to be above 200 speed, you know, it's gonna be pretty much guaranteed. This team right now, as I have it, has about an 80% success rate, because like I mentioned, if they take out your Fangus, unfortunately, or sometimes, you know, the wrong speed down happens, or one of the buffs doesn't land, since this boss has very high resist, you know, so he can miss it. Sometimes Fangus can go a couple of hits without landing any debuff whatsoever. Now, in terms of stats, my recommendation is try to get as many of your characters, or all of them, above 20,000 HP, as you can see. And once again, a speed over 200. Now, for your opener, in this case, Chiaki the Echo, you need her above about 228 in order to outspeed Terror itself. You're not going to be able to outspeed the hand, as you saw. Alrighty, now the next unit that we're using, of course, is Valerian. She's here for sustain as well. And in this case, you want her to have as much HP as possible. Now, I don't have as many speed sets with HP that are going to help her go as often as possible. So if you got to choose one, HP is what you want for your Valerian. In this case, you see she's above 35,000 on HP. That's exactly what you want, so that when she uses her S3, right, she's going to distribute across all of your units as much HP as possible with an Artisan for survivability. In this case, you do want above 150. Actually, ideally, you want 170 speed, so that she's never behind Terror. But again, sometimes with the speed that I have, she might fall behind it. And that's when you can lose. Now, in terms of the set, as you can see, I'm just literally nothing, barely anything is really built, right? I just threw pieces that would provide me with the HP buff and a couple of HP bonuses. Now, her S3, you do want to upgrade it so that you get that stack of Hazy right at the beginning of Hazy Dream, right? So this is another unit that you want to get to level 5. And again, these are all units that you're going to build regardless, because they work everywhere else. So do not worry about investing on them. Then we have Catchy the Guard, which again is the new GOAT in the game. Same thing with him. You want him to be as fast as possible. Now, in order for you to not require over 230 accuracy, you need to get his S3 to level 4. The reason why is because that is going to increase the chances of success, so that you can land all the buffs as you just saw, right? Now, for him, again, we want him to be as fast or a little under your opener, right? But definitely faster than Terror. So you don't want him to go after Terror ever. You want him to go before every single time. We're using Artisan for the shell, and then you can kind of miss and match again, because what you're looking for is accuracy and speed. And if you can get also him to 20,000 HP, again, you're making your life a lot easier. Now, your damage dealer in this case, right, is Fangus, and it's because he applies damage over time. Now, this is the one that requires the most investment, but you're gonna be able to use him not just here, but also on Green Pursuit, right? He is a Nikonana as well. You can use him and Aurora as well if you get a super cleanse team. So he's a unit that you're gonna be able to use pretty much everywhere as well. And again, because he's an SR unit, eventually it will be a lot easier to build than chasing an SSR unit. With him though, we also want him to be as fast as possible. So 200 speed is ideal for this case, and in terms of HP, also 20,000, because you definitely don't want him to die, because if he dies, the run is done. There's no way that they're gonna deal enough damage even if they stay alive for the next 15 minutes. And then for the shield, we're using Gigabit, as you can see right here, and then effect accuracy, because you want him to land that attack as often as possible, and we lost that run essentially. As I told you, it's about an 80% success rate. Now, effect accuracy, because again, Terror has a ridiculous amount of resistance, as you can see. Sometimes he won't land any of the attacks or the debuffs, and you need him to stack as many damage over time as possible. Now, the reason why you also get his passive to level 5 is because that's going to allow for infinite follow-up, and as you can see, he just died. And then the next unit that we're going to be using in this case is going to be Vice. Now, Vice, you want to have everything at level 5, ideally, right? And the reason why is because with his S3, he is going to do attack down. And then he's also going to taunt the boss with his S1, as you can see. And then with his passive, he is able to heal himself back. And eventually, when you get the passive to level 5, he's going to be able to transfer some of that HP over to your team. Now, what we're going to use as well is Fortissimo for him, because Fortissimo accumulates the HP that, in this case, Vice doesn't need, and then eventually releases it over to your team when they need it. In this case, you also want him to be as fast as possible. Over 200 is ideal, because you want him to go over and over and over so that he can taunt, right? Heal himself, accumulate that HP with Fortissimo, and then taunt and go again. So now, ideally, you also want effect accuracy over 200 to guarantee the taunt, right? And pretty much every other debuff that he's going to apply. But again, as you can see, 172 also works. Alrighty, so we are on another run. Like I mentioned, it's not going to be a 100% success rate. That, again, especially at this stage of the game with the crappy modules that we have and the not such great luck, this is what you can expect. But again, it's way better because, again, it requires not a single SSR unit. So everybody, regardless of your luck, regardless of whether you're free to play or a spender, you should be able to get all of these units. And if you're able to get dupes on them, right, to increase their HP and reducing the amount of damage that they get even better, essentially, for every single run. Alrighty. So I am working on another team for Aurora. The problem with Aurora is that there is no consistency whatsoever with that damn boss. I've tried multiple, I'm able to clear, but nothing on auto makes it past like 2 runs consistently. Now, this team, unfortunately, will not work, right, for Inferno or Terror, because, again, you need a cleanser. So you're going to need units, right, that have cleanse on the S3. The only unit that has it right now is the green SR, but she is so squishy and she dies pretty much right away, and I don't have the right gear for her. And she also deals like no damage at the moment. So once I learn how to use her properly, we probably might be able to do it. Because again, the team that I showcased yesterday for Doki Doki is also able to defeat Inferno, and but that one only does require an SSR unit, because Doki Doki requires way too much damage, and SR units just don't, because the only damage dealer and we lost this one as well. Man, this is crazy. 2 back-to-back, unfortunately. Alrighty, so we're gonna close it with this. But as you can see, like I said, it does work, right? So we got saw them close, but again, RNG is the name of this game. So as always, guys, stay tuned, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.